Muraho neza inshuti zanjye, ukuntu mukunze gukurikira ibintu bitandukanye ngenda nshiraho yaba kuri Instagram cyangwa kuri YouTube. Uyu munsi rero nari nifuje kugirana ikiganiro n'umuvandimwe wa hano muri Amerika. Nk'uko mubizi akenshi umuntu wabaye mu bintu by'umuco ngerageza kuvuga ku bintu bijyanye n'umuco, kuko YouTube channel yanjye yitwa Rwanda to the World, so it's about culture. Rero tugiye kugirana ikiganiro, turagirana ikiganiro ku bijyanye n'ibibazo bitandukanye kuri mu muco, kugira ngo tubashe kumva ni gute bo babyumva, ni gute babyitwaramo, ariko cyane cyane nibanze kuri Amerika, ngerageza no kugereranya n'ibyo wacu mu Rwanda. Okay, thank you. I'll try to have today English conversation because of my guest, and my guest will introduce himself. You people know me. As you know, most of my videos are in culture. I talk about culture, I talk about dancing, I can even talk about clothing, dressing, everything. So today I'm gonna talk to my friend, my brother here in the USA, about culture, and that will be Rwanda to the world. And at this time Rwanda will present Africa, we present the continent of black color, and America will present the continent of mixed of colors. And as I'm gonna talk to him, I'm not gonna focus only to what he is, how he looks. I will focus on America, the culture of America, the value of the culture, and then we will learn both American, we learn about how Rwandese think, how African thinks, and we try to learn how things go to America. So we have some things which we don't agree because we don't see things like that, and we talk about the reality and then we judge the reality. That will be our point of views, and I think you guys will be gentle with us and put some comments and tell us how you think about it. It's about sharing ideas and try to build each other. We're not building the group of people, we're building you personally. So let me give time to my guest and introduce himself.
Hi, my name is Jacob. I'm a friend of Emmanuel's, Manguste. And he has invited me very graciously into his home to share a little bit of what I know, and now I get to learn from him as well. And hopefully you guys can use this to build yourselves up too. And yeah, thanks for the time, man.
Yeah. What is in the mindset of American when they see like foreigners, people coming from Asia, Africa, Europe, in USA, when they don't talk to them? When they see them, what comes in their mind?
Okay, so a foreigner that we haven't conversed with?
Yeah.
Okay, so normally from the people that I've discussed with, we really we see them as people. We want them to be here. We're actually very honored to have those people here. I think I'd be more interested in knowing the reason why they're here. What do they come for? How do they view America? Which is kind of funny because it's the topic that we were discussing earlier. But when I see a foreigner, and when my friends and I, as we talked about it, see a foreigner, we're interested to know, for instance, why do they come to California or to North Dakota? It was a culture shock to see so many people from Africa in North Dakota. I mean, that blew me away when I got here about 2 years ago. So I'd say we'd be more interested in the reasoning behind coming here or the specific places that they went to be here.
Trying to compare what you had as an idea before you talk to someone, and when you talk to someone, what comes as impression.
Right. So, like I said before, I'm more interested to know why they're here, and then I get to talk with them, and I become driven. Because what they tell me is they grew up thinking America was the land of opportunity. And in a lot of ways, it is. And I feel like Americans rob themselves of that feeling of pride and opportunity because we've lived here our whole lives. I see people who come from all over, from Nepal, Asia, other European countries, Africa, Mexico, and many other countries as well. So getting to learn from them, they're honored, they're happy, they're privileged to be here in America because they know that success starts here. You know, wealth starts here, and they're really happy to be in that environment.
You get used to listen to different people, different accents, different
Yes.
pronunciations, and which is not easy. And that's a key of communication. You know,
Yes.
what do you see in those people when they kind of learn English? Some of them they better, some of them they trying. You know, how do you judge that one going to language?
Okay, so I think anybody who picks up a second language, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, whatever, um, is showing a great amount of respect to the culture that language exists within. So when you come over here and you have a knowledge of English, even if it's broken English, the fact that you learned and you tried and you lent yourself to that exercise to learn a language is, for me, immensely humbling. It actually kind of makes me feel a little shameful for only knowing English. I've lived here all 28 years of my life in America. Um, and the best I can say is I got a C in Spanish. So be more forward thinking than me. But it's something that I noticed was some people, some cultures, or not even cultures, just people from different areas, have a harder time having a more English accent or making their accent work for English. And English is a tough language. We have words that don't make sense and rules that break each other all the time. And so I try to be very patient and I try to be very compassionate when people are learning and struggling with English because I was there too, ironically enough. I just got to be able to be schooled through it for 12 years in the public system. So I think it's very humbling when they learn it, and I'm happy to see them progress, and I like to encourage that kind of.
When someone is speaking like broken English,
Sure.
how do you see them? Which what the differentiation about them? The respect you give to them.
Sure.
How you feel comfortable? How you feel? How do you place them? You know, in the rank. This one is you know, like going
How do
using
they-
the word smart. You know,
I
say this
see.
is smarter than this one. Going to language only if you see the aspect of language. Is it the only aspect you can use to see that someone is smart,
Oh,
or
absolutely not. No. So I see. So broken English. If you are having a time, a very tough time learning a language, and you have to, for instance, when I speak with like you, Ali, Eli, and all of them, I don't speak in Kinyarwanda the whole time. I use the phrases I know, and I try to keep up. But I imagine that when I say something that is wrong phonetically, you know, you guys are very kind about that, you know, or when I say something and I'm right, you guys will laugh and you'll be like, "Wow, he got that right," and I'm embarrassed because that's weird for me. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, did I make a mistake?" You know, so I kind of look at it from someone who's also learning a language right now. But before that, I guess my answer would be people who had like broken English and they were struggling or they didn't know how else to learn the language because all their other family members speak their native language. I would just try to be very patient with them because I know that they're trying to convey an idea. And I'm sure that in their language, they'd be able to convey that idea twice as fast, 3 times as smart as I ever could in English. I like to lend them the benefit of the doubt. I think that when it comes to intelligence, I look at it in 2 different categories. There's being smart and there's being intelligent. Being smart is knowing how to use knowledge, and being intelligent is being able to acquire knowledge. And everyone has a capacity on both of those. Some are more smart, others are more intelligent. So when it comes to learning a language, you have to be both smart and intelligent to some degree. When it comes to broken English, I imagine that someone may just not have the right avenue to learn the language. As I said before, it's a very difficult language. So I would say that someone needs to be more patient with people who have that broken English and just, hey, they're trying. There's no like respect given or taken away if you don't learn it. I've noticed that in the time that I had been at Baker Boy, I noticed a big shift in the way that you and others from Rwanda had treated me as I tried learning more about their culture and their language. You were very patient with me, and I appreciated that a lot.
What comes in your mind when we talk about when you listen to the word Asia,
Mhm.
Africa, Europe? I mean, when you hear about those continents you have never been in,
Right.
and this one I'm not talking about Europe because it's the Western.
It's a little more easy for me. Yeah.
The same. I'll talk about Africa and Asia.
Okay.
You talk a little bit about Asia, and we take a time Africa, and you try to be honest with me. The idea you have,
Yeah.
without saying. After talking to Ali, talking to Imani, and saw like some
Right.
videos on YouTube, because you remember I showed you some video of Kigali.
Absolutely
So
beautiful
what do you
place.
have? What do you have as idea?
So before all of that, I didn't know how developed Africa was. So be gentle. All right, be gentle. I was thinking it was more of like when you think of like going out on safari and seeing all the plains and dry land and the animals. I didn't know it was as civilized as it was. So I saw it more of. I imagined there was civilization. I just didn't know how much of it. I imagined desert for Africa. A lot of desert and a lot of exotic animals you wouldn't see here. We don't have elephants in America unless they're in a zoo, and even then I don't know if we have them. So I thought it was a very nature-oriented continent. The people there lived in a more simple manner, and they enjoyed it. As for Asia as a continent, I have always imagined it very crowded. Very crowded. I imagine it's very hard to just go from point A to point B in Asia. I don't know much about their culture. I always found whenever someone brought up Asia, I think of China, and for some reason when I thought of China, and still do to this day, I think that they're unrepresented in our culture, so I don't know much about it. I just kind of see them as like a place on the map. There's people there, and they clearly don't want to leave, or they would. So it must be cool, but I really don't know much about it.
What is the role of the media?
The role of the media?
The media in representing a face of some place.
Okay, well, that's a weird question because the role of the media today is so weird. But I think if you're trying to, as the media, portray your country, you want to portray the high life. What's the best that you can have in this place? You want to focus on selling your country to some extent. Not selling it, but you want people to be sold on the idea of like visiting.
Advertising it.
Yeah, you want to advertise it, and you don't want to advertise bad product. Why would you do that? So I see like a lot of your music videos are people living the high life, and they're chasing women, and they're enjoying their wealth, and they're having a great time. I don't think I've heard a sad song from any of your artists. I mean, if there probably is, I don't know, but they don't show that. They show.
Do you know some Rwandan artists?
No, just the stuff that like when I go to parties, they'll play the music and they'll show the music videos, and I'll be like, "Oh, that looks so much fun!" And I'm like, "Of course it looks like fun." They wouldn't show me a sad guy just chilling.
Yeah, and then you can't even see the difference between our videos and American videos.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And yeah, then it all just kind of blends together, right?
Yeah.
Although it is weird, and I don't mean to deviate, but it's kind of interesting how American media, as far as music goes, there is a culture that focuses on very depressing or dark or dingy photography and videography that ends up being it conveys a message of emptiness or depression. And it's interesting to see how that's succeeded in surprising ways in America, especially in the last 5 years. You see more dark imagery, not evil, just dark, depressing, or it conveys a void within the human heart.
Why do you think the media don't show the reality? They don't show the country
You mean why?
the way it is,
Okay.
You know, the way it is, and let people judge themselves.
I see. So the American media. is
No,
what
not
you're-
on American media. That will be when we talk about American as we African, we mix like with the Europe because they even
I see.
connect.
So European American media
Mm.
doing footage of Africa.
not,
Gotcha.
not on Africa,
Rwanda.
other continent.
Okay.
Which you know, that when it's Europe, it's America, it's nice. It's very good things.
It is, yeah.
It's a progression. It's technology. But when it's Africa, it's those kind of stuff in the
Yeah,
minds of
yeah.
the people. When it's Asia, it's about wars. It's about all those stuff. But at least in Asia, they try to show like some buildings, some technology,
Right. They try to show there's
because
something there.
there are many,
Mhm.
in terms of number, and they have explored the world. So you can
Yeah.
tell people that they don't know China, they know China,
Right.
So it's harder to show bad image of China in terms of infrastructure because people know, and they're even able to showcase what they're doing. So
Yeah.
what do you think? What is behind? What do you think? What are your analysis about the media showing that face of Africa?
Right. Right. The less.
The bad the bad side, or maybe the
more
like for
natural.
example the zoo doesn't mean it's bad, but
Right.
why do they want people only to see that we have zoo?
Right. So yeah, I think it's all part of. So when you're in media, and I don't know much about it, so I'm not going to speculate a whole lot. I imagine that the goal is to give something, whether it's a person, a place, or a thing, a face. And what you're looking to do is play to the strengths of that face. For instance, a boxer. You don't want this boxer to come off looking wimpy. You want to make him look strong and powerful. So in his promo videos and in his pictures and stuff, he's going to be very intimidating and upfront. And he's not the back down kind of guy. When you have a model, you want them to look pretty and sexy and this, that, and the next thing, right? You don't want them to be, looking ugly and dirty.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like, especially, I keep thinking of, have you ever watched that movie Ace Ventura? It's a Jim Carrey movie from the 90s when he was good, and it's it's basically about this goofy detective who is a pet detective. He's an animal detective, and he's trying to find this bat in Africa. This very famous bat. I don't know. I'm not going to go into it too much. It's an old movie. And it showed all the safari, and the only places where there seemed to be wealth was where white people had made structures or like put themselves in. It was weird, and it's all comical. It's not in any way, shape, or form, I think, to be a diss on Africa. They're not insulting Africa with the movie, but I think the face of Africa from like that kind of perspective is it's a very naturalistic, very down to earth, almost literally look at the world. It is Africa is this very I hate to use the word simple, but it's more in tune with like letting nature be nature. It's less about cement walls and mortar and stone and brick, and it's more about seeing the natural beauty of a place. So, and it's interesting because in the videos you showed me of Kigali, I wouldn't know the difference between it and like southern parts of California even. I mean, very very advanced considering what happened in '94 and how you guys have progressed since then. I mean,